Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
What it is, what it ain't, what it's going to be. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. If listening to J-Mac's sweet voice on the advertisement doesn't get you amped up for an episode, we really don't know what will. But speaking of Will, for everybody who doesn't know, my name is Will Polston. I will be your moderator, per se, today for Roundtable, another episode that we're bringing back. We've got a couple of first-timers, including myself, and the lovely lady here to the bottom corner, Miss Joanne. Joanne, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Well, thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure. I don't usually spend my Saturday night with four gentlemen, so I'm pretty psyched.
Hey, that's why we do it on Friday.
On Friday.
Hey, I drank my dinner today too. It's okay.
You guys got me. I forgot the day of the week.
I mean, it's hard to stay cool and collected with these four beautiful gentlemen in here. I'll start off with first the man to my left, the man who's typically behind the scenes, but we're going to get him on there today. A man who has been on Roundtable a few times, Christopher Mabry. Chris, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How's everybody doing tonight?
Dude, any better, it would be illegal. Then we've got a man that looks a little bit like me, but by no means, shape, or form are we related. Trevor. Trevor, how you doing today, my guy?
I'm doing fantastic. Well, it's been I would say a little bit of a hectic week trying to organize myself as I prepared to move into my next apartment in August. So getting all that situated as well, starting my job at the end of June. So got all that moving and all those moving parts. But great to be on Roundtable again. It seems like I'm on a Roundtable hot streak right now for all the times that I've been on it. So far, a perfect streak. Let me see if I can keep that going like Undertaker streak before I have that one loss, right?
Hey, keep it up, man. You're doing great. A pure staple to the Roundtable at this point. And to the people who you probably all thought I was talking about, Mr. John Alcorn. John, how's it going, my man?
What's up, man? And I do have an older brother, but he doesn't have red or brown hair, so it would be kind of ironic if that happens. So no, we're not related or adopted, but we're good. And when he said ladies, I thought you were talking about Trevor here. So I was like, that's not very nice.
No. Can't you see the resemblance between Trevor and I? I thought everybody knew that's where I was going.
The glasses is the only thing that sets you apart.
I have glasses, but they're broken. We're working on fixing that. So, but yeah, everybody, for myself and Joanne, welcome to the first Roundtable. For everybody else, welcome back. And then everybody else in the comments, everybody viewing, already see Randy down there in the comments saying hey to everybody. What's up, Randy? How's it going, my guy? But I figure we could start off and do this Roundtable a little bit different. Typically, a lot of the times we kind of come in and we have these kind of set topics and everything. And I want to leave it a little bit open to everybody who comes in and watches the show today. I want to give everybody an opportunity that watches this on Roundtable to ask questions to us, being members of C2C or MI6, and get to know us a little bit and get to know where we're coming from and everything such as that. You guys spend a lot of your days already watching us, but you guys may not know us personally. So why not go ahead and ask us a couple of questions? Come try to get to know us a little bit. If you have a question specifically for one person, feel free to tag them in the comments or say them by name. Otherwise, you can just, if there's no name, we'll leave it open to the floor and we'll have everybody take a shot at it. But first, we'll go to Joanne. Joanne, I know I've seen you. You got your own show here on C2C, whatever, on Wednesday. Can you take me a little bit through just a little bit about your show and then and what made you start this podcast? What got you into all of it?
So I actually have another podcast that's called Adversity to Inspiration that's off of C2C, and that's a much more serious topic. It's really about people who have overcome adversity and come through the other side. And then, Adam and I connected, and he asked me if I'd like to come over to C2 and do a show, and I said yes, but I didn't necessarily think that show was the perfect fit for this network. So I decided I didn't want to, that show takes a lot of preparation, a lot of research. And I said, I just want to kind of wing it. So now I said it's going to be on a Wednesday night. Let's talk about whatever. And then I don't have to be pigeonholed into any topic. And it's been going well so far. We get to talk about whatever we want. We talk about, we actually talked about sex this week, which I never thought was ever going to happen, me talking about that live. But we went for it. And we've spoken about race, adversity a little bit. We've spoken about powerlifting. I tried to bring some sports people on to kind of meld in, but I really enjoyed my conversation with Adam, and now, I love being in this group of guys. It's not too difficult to be the only girl in a great group, so I get a lot of attention, and I appreciate it.
Hey, and we're happy to have you here. I tell you what, bringing a woman into the show is already bringing additional attention. Already seeing way more viewers than any time on Deck whenever I was on there. So, hey, congratulations, Joanne. Chris, it looks like you already got a comment coming towards you. Christopher Mabry, if you could have any kind of ice cream, what ice cream would you be and why? If you were an ice cream flavor, Chris, let's hear it.
If I was an ice cream, it'd probably be vanilla. Because
come on. Don't say that. We would spice it up, all right? This is
Okay.
Roundtable.
All right. Mint chocolate chip.
You got to tell us why now, though.
Because I like mint ice cream, and I think, I don't know, I'd be tasty. I don't know.
Well, you sound delicious. Tell you what, we got another comment. Shout out Randy wanted to give some great words to Joanne there, talking about how awesome of a job she does on the show and everything such as that.
Thank you, Randy. I adore you.
And then, John, we got a question for you also from Jason Barber. What is your go-to food for watching a game?
Oh, easy. It's wings, Takis, and a big fat thing either for a root beer or maybe an occasional beer.
Hey, beer or root beer, whatever. Hey, sounds good to me. All right, to keep it going, let's keep the things moving along. Trevor, you are a staple to this show at this point, but take us through what people may not know. Take us through what you got going on show-wise and everything, where people can find you, and what got you into this.
So what really got me into this was basically, we'll just say, it's COVID-19. That really kind of threw a lot of people through the loop, and you didn't know what to do on your free time. So it's like you were calling your friends because, that's all what you could do. And some people at the MI6 Sports Network, we used to call each other pretty much almost every day. And one day we say, might as well just convert this into a podcast. All we were doing was talking about sports on the phone, giving what-if scenarios about certain players, and it kind of snowballed into, like, quarantine chats, and then just slowly developed and transformed into the MI6 Sports Network. And from there, the rest is history. We ended up adding shows to, like, Wild Sports Talk, to No BS, which is kind of fostered across its, like, 1 year mark back in the beginning of June. So I've been doing that with Isaiah Leung, giving our hot lunacy takes to our famous Power 5 of literally anything, our top 5 favorite ice creams we did one time, to top 5 donut flavors. You name it, the list goes on and on for our Power 5 segment. And the most recently project that I've been working on is the 6 for 6 on the MI6 Sports Network, where I pick the 6 best games for the week and ranking them from, top priority to, like, ones that maybe you should go into, investigate, and explore. So I think the top game that I put in this week was, like, the Brooklyn Nets Game 5 against the Bucks, since it was going to be really heated since, Kyrie Irving and James Harden were out, and came down to KD versus Giannis in that game. So it was going to see if, KD could step up. That's why I ended up putting number 1 that week. So make sure you tune in for that at, 6 p.m. But since I'm starting work soon, that may be shifted to a 6:30 to a 7 o'clock time, because I have to get home from rush hour, and we all know how bad rush hour can be at times.
Yeah, absolutely. You are not kidding there. Looks like we got a couple more comments down there. A couple of questions coming to me. J-Mac starting first. Will, how many wings is a good amount needed for a game? Of course, you're going to ask me a wing question right after the guy who looks like me gets a wing question. That's ridiculous. But it depends. I mean, you going boneless, you going traditional? I mean, what are you doing here? I think whenever you go traditional wing, it takes a little bit more time. You got to take your time with it. You got to work around that bone. I think you can go a solid, like, 10 to 12 wings on a game day with a bone. But I mean, if you're just eating basically chicken nuggets, it's got about 20. You got a 20 piece in you, I think. And right behind him, Adam Barber, shout out Ace coming in. Since Chris got to answer his ice cream question, Will Polston, if you could be any type of cereal, what would you be? What would I be? I'd be oh no, that's a type of cookie. Never mind. Was gonna say a ginger snap. That was a joke in and of its own. But you know what? I grew up on Cinnamon Toast Crunch, so let's go there. Question for all, or actually, Trevor, how long did it take? How long did you do the top 5? How long did you do the top 5 ice cream?
I'm guessing he's asking how long ago was it? That's what I'm thinking.
I tell you what, that we're gonna say that's the question, and you can answer that.
All right, so I think we did around like Memorial Day weekend because it was like getting nice and hot outside, trying to figure out what frozen treat would you go with, on a nice Memorial Day, weekend.
Fair enough. I mean, perfect time for ice cream. Question for all from Randy Cox. Speaking of hot weather, do you prefer hot or the cold? Joanne, I'll start with you.
That's an easy one for me, the hot. I hate the cold. I'm cold 365. So right even in here, I have my blanket. My sons have the air conditioning down to 70 and I'm bundled up.
Fair enough. Chris, hot or cold weather?
Oh, I don't like the heat. I'd probably say the cold, but then after the cold weather, I'd rather say the heat. But I'm going to stick with cold weather.
All right, 1-1. We'll go over to John. Where are you at?
Well, a little bit of cold
hurts you a little bit.
Because I'm trying to think about it, because I'm as pale as can be, so even sunscreen doesn't do anything. So I'm as redder than Will here is on this camera. I would say like hotel AC.
How'd you get here?
My guy,
Who let you in?
He asked me to send him the link. He wants to give a surprise.
By the way,
I was going to send him the link.
By the way, Will, he disowned his A's and is now a Rangers fan. And he works for the A's, so.
You're disgusting. Hey, Skip Bayless, while you're here, hot or cold weather, what do you prefer?
Ooh,
He can't handle the hot above 72.
It's got to be cold weather after what I've experienced this past week in Texas. I can't handle it, man. It's like 100 degrees each day, man.
Yeah,
Don't blame you there.
it is.
John, did we ever get your answer? Or did we get rudely interrupted?
Yeah, just like Isaiah with his bullcrap takes. But it would be hotel AC cold. Because when it gets out of the hotel.
Oh my God. Yeah,
that can get pretty short.
I would rather do that because when you're as pale as me, you got to be careful because you'll get burned pretty quickly.
Trevor, are you going to join Joanne as the lone soul in the heated section? Where are you going?
I've actually had this debate with friends constantly, and it was during football practice. We had this debate where it went down to if it was hot outside, you get to the point where you can't remove your clothes off, and you're just like to the point where you're just hot. But when it's cold, you can keep adding layers so you get to that point where it's like you're satisfied. But if you get too hot at that point, you can always take a layer off to cool back down. So I'm going to go with the cold on that, and that's where I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with cold weather so I can just layer up to that point, and if I get too hot, I just, take off a layer, and then we'll be back to normal.
All right, take it easy, Isaiah. I guess he's out of here. But yeah, I was actually going to go with the same exact point. I was always been told that, I used to always complain. My mom used to always keep her house or her apartment, whatever it was, super cold. And I used to say, Mom, it is freezing in here. Can we turn the heat up a little bit? And she's like, well, you can either put clothes on now or I'll take them off later. And I learned to wear a hoodie in the house. It is what it is. I would just much rather add clothes when you're this size. There's a limit of clothing that is deemed acceptable in the public. So let's keep that to. I'd rather add layers than take away. So everybody, keep the questions coming. You guys are doing great. I'm seeing that questions are being absolutely spammed. I'm actually going to go to this one real quick because we haven't addressed a question from her yet so far. Kathleen Ford's in the comments section wanting to message Joanne. She said, Joanne, if you could be anyone, who would you be? That's such a vague question.
Kathleen probably already knows the answer. I would be me. So you can't, if you love yourself, you love every part of your story. And Kathleen's a member of my family, and she knows I'm from a great family. She's got the same blood. So I'm going with me, the obvious choice.
Hey, there you go. That's all about self-love there, baby. And by the way, you do have a member in the comment section. Shout out Randy would also rather be in the hot too. So you're not alone. You are definitely not alone in that one. So
my guy. Randy's my guy.
everybody keep the comment sections coming. We love answering these questions and keeping everything going. Obviously, we were just able to kill about 16 minutes there. So, but I tell you what, I'm going to jump into a game, and anybody watching this that is coming from my following, for anybody who doesn't know, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I run my own podcast and everything. I'm a recent graduate from the University of South Florida, and I run my own podcast with my buddies from college called GMs for Hire. But it's all sports, everything on YouTube, exclusive. You can find that there. But before this, I was doing my own radio show in college, and it was called Bull Spittin', mainly because I couldn't say shitting on the air. So, but now I'm online, so I can say it. But yeah, so whenever we would do that, we had this game, and everybody thought it was an absolute hoot, and I wanted to bring it to C2C because this is quite the game, and it gets some laughs. So. Is everybody aware of the Florida man? Is everybody aware that the man in Florida that just does the most mysterious things, and he's popular on the headlines? He always comes up with the best headlines, right? Are we all aware of him?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I've got 10 headlines here from newspapers or news outlets, and all you have to do is tell me whether or not that headline is from a man in Florida or from somewhere else. You do not have to tell me where the other else is. You just have to tell me whether or not it is from Florida or not. Now, Chris, I will give you the honor of picking first. I will give you pick a number between 1 and 10.
5.
All right. You said 5. I'm just going to go down after that, and we'll just go in order. We'll just start right in the middle. Number 5, Chris, are you ready for your first headline?
I'm ready.
Man calls 911 to discuss Hitler with the police because he is bored. These are real headlines, folks. I do not. Now, I do have explanations for each story, too, so we'll get to hear a little bit about it.
I'm going to say somewhere else.
Ooh, we are starting off 0 for 1 today. That is great. Out of DeLand, Florida, home of the Stetson Hatters. DeLand, Florida, a 28-year-old man called the emergency line 5 times in a 5-hour time period. The police officer was then sent to his home, and when he was there, the man was still on the phone with the dispatcher. The police officer asked him what he was doing, and he said, "I'm talking to your dispatcher because I'm bored." He was later taken to Volusia County Jail. So congrats to that guy. That guy's been arrested. John, we'll go over to you. We'll go down to the next headline. You get the next one. Let's see here. Where is it? Here we go. Man breaks into a home to clean it, steals nothing.
Somewhere else.
Literally broke into a home to clean it, and that was it. You said somewhere else?
Yes.
We are 1 and 1. That was in Massachusetts.
Because think about it, Florida's for sometimes where older people retire, and they're sticks and bones. They're not going to break into your house. They can barely get out of bed or crap on the toilet, much less break into a house. So that's a really easy one.
I lived in Tampa for quite some time, and you'd be surprised what kind of dumb stuff you'll find, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But in Massachusetts, a man broke into a home. He made the beds, he vacuumed the rugs, scrubbed toilets, and even made decorative roses out of toilet paper in the bathroom. The homeowner had forgotten to lock his doors and set his cameras before going off to work. They thought it was actually a cleaning service and went to the wrong address. The man who did it has yet to be identified. This was multiple years ago.
Are you sure that wasn't in Oregon, Will? We know a lot of guys out there who might break in and do some cleaning up.
Hey, I mean, Randy makes some beautiful toilet paper roses. I've seen it happen myself. It's quite the showing. I'll give him that. It could have been in Oregon, but this time it was in Massachusetts. I like seeing everybody in the comment section playing along. Shout out to Randy, Jason, and Kathleen, all correct, saying somewhere else on that headline. Let's keep it moving. That was the state next to me. Congrats, Kathleen. Hopefully keep your doors locked. Joanne, we'll move on to you. We've got multiple drivers stop on the highway to chase rogue money.
I'll say Florida.
That is incorrect. That was in New Jersey. In New Jersey, money was flying out of an armored vehicle and multiple drivers stopped on the highway to try to collect earnings as they were flying out of the vehicle. Shout out New Jersey. I mean, would you
I
not?
wouldn't blame them.
Yeah,
That
would
is
you
true.
not?
That is true.
I mean, you saw a Brinks truck just open up, money's flying towards you. What are you going to do? You're going to keep driving? I mean, I completely understand where they're coming from.
I didn't steal it out of the truck.
They were probably just trying to help. They were going to put it back in the truck. That's what.
It's the
that's what I
heist without
think.
the work. Like, come on.
It's free real estate, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we need to know.
It's free real estate. You're not wrong. All right. Let's see here. We'll go over to Trevor. Trevor, your first headline. This is a good one, by the way. Man pauses a police chase to rehydrate with a stolen Capri Sun. When arrested, he said, "Smoking crack makes me thirsty."
This has to be a Florida man.
That's too elaborate to not be from Florida. I mean, that's written in the stars right there. That's from Palm Beach County, Florida. 43-year-old man was arrested, was actually pulled over for an arrest attempt for contempt of court. He fled and drove through the backyards of multiple homes. He then ditched the car and burglarized several homes. After 2 hours of a chase with police, the man was found literally just a couple blocks away from the initial spot. The chase involved 20 deputies, 5 police officers, 4 canine officers, and a sheriff helicopter.
Wow. That's a whole unit.
And a Capri Sun.
Imagine. Look at that. I mean, look at all those comments. We got Kathleen, Jason, Randy, Nathan, Donna. Everybody's like, yeah, that's Florida. I mean, that's so obvious. It's Florida. It doesn't get more Floridian than that, really. Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Florida's finest, indeed, Kathleen. That is one of the best ones I've seen in quite some time. And this is why you're starting to see why this was a hit on the radio. You know,
It was a good idea.
This is some good stuff that goes on here in Florida. It's such a fun place. All right, Chris, we're back to you. Chris, we know you got a Florida man headline the first time. You said somewhere else. Let's see if you can even it out 1 for 1.
There you go.
Man loses his life savings at a carnival and only walks away with a banana with dreadlocks.
That sounds like Florida.
0 for 2, Chris.
Oh, come on.
Dude, I know it had to be somewhere else because the way you worded it, let's see if you can get it right this time. I was like, wait a minute, then it's not Florida. So you kind of.
Hey, man in New Hampshire went to a carnival, spent his life savings trying to win a stuffed prize, and all he did was walk away with a 6-foot banana.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they say how much his life savings is?
Yeah.
Did not specify. that could be anything, you know.
I got one question. Why?
Hey, I mean,
Why?
when someone says you're going to do something, you got to do it. You know. I mean,
Well, I understand, but it's like, why would you do that? Your life savings.
That's something Isaiah would do.
hey, maybe that's who it was. Kathleen, very disappointed in the East Coast by listening to this game. Glad I could help out. We'll keep it going. John, your turn. You got yours first one correct, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see if you can keep perfect. Let's see here. We already had one about calling 911, so let's go to another one. Man calls 911 to report himself driving drunk.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Ooh, 1 for 1, John Alcorn. That is from Florida.
Oh.
What?
That man was in Winter Haven, Florida on New Year's Eve, nonetheless. He called the police and he said, the cops asked, this is great. They actually had the transcriptions, which makes everything better. The cops asked where he was. He said, I don't know. I'm too drunk to tell you where I am. It continued. They asked, what has he been doing all night? He said, I've been trying to get pulled over. He admitted to driving on the wrong side of the road later in the conversation, and he then parked in the middle of the road and said that he was going to wait for officers to get there. Luckily, no one got hurt. But upon arrest, he admitted to drinking beer, swallowing methamphetamine, and not sleeping for days.
He was probably like, all right, New Year's resolution, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell the police what I'm doing, and I'm going to do good. That's probably what he was thinking.
It's time to own up for your problems. It's quite a world we live in here. I'll be completely honest. And Florida, man, it's pure entertainment, really. Shout out to everybody in the comment section playing along. I'm glad to see this is getting a lot of feedback and everything. And the comment section is actually doing really well. I'm really impressed. Joanne, your turn.
All right.
We'll turn it over to you. Man builds a spaceship to visit planets from novels that he has been reading.
Oh, boy.
Everybody leave your comments down there, Florida or somewhere else. We'll see exactly where. Take me through the thought process, Joanne. Come on. A spaceship to visit planets that he's heard about in novels. Let's see what you think.
I'm thinking, we got Cape Canaveral down there in Florida, so that is a big topic down there. So there could be a tie-in, but you could be giving me a trick question. I don't know. I'm going to go with Florida, but I'm not 100%.
Okay, so far in the comment section, we do have 3 somewhere else's. Everybody unanimous going with somewhere else. Shout out to Kathleen, who just said Oregon. She said this happened in Oregon. She's very aware of it.
Well, can I interject here? Everybody's going to get to see Kathleen tomorrow night. She's going to be a special guest on movie night. Movie night's actually going to be ladies' night. Ladies' night. Ladies are taking over movie night tomorrow night. So people, I have a record to break, and I'm going to tell you more about that later. But Kathleen's pretty on it.
Breaking boundaries out here. We finally got our first Florida from Randy saying on this one. He agrees with Joanne saying Florida. Everybody else going with somewhere else. And it was indeed somewhere else. In fact, it was our friends over in Spain. Now, Spain. Now, hold up. Here's the best part about this. When I read this headline, man builds spaceships to visit planets that he has been reading about in his novels. Give me a guess of the age range you think this guy is.
10.
25 to 35.
35, okay.
I'm going to go with
I'm saying 45 now because some people
40s, okay. Trevor?
I'm going with a nice solid 85.
85.
Trevor, if this was Price is Right, you're coming up, buddy. 87 years old.
Oh my God.
An 87-year-old man. John's
face is 87 years old. You should have problems with your butt at 87, not being able to build a spaceship.
Man was building it out of cardboard and other household findings to try to build a spaceship. And he actually built it big enough to where he could fit in it. It was kind of impressive, I'm not going to lie. Quite the idea. And shout out Nathaniel got it right on the nose, but I hope it wasn't before I said the age. Don't cheat at home, okay? God knows what you're doing out there. So we'll move on. Trevor, your turn. We got you a headline here. I got 3 more left. I'll leave the last 2 open to the floor. Trevor, you've got number 8. Man climbs on a playground equipment in the park to tell kids where babies come from.
I feel like this could happen almost anywhere, but this also seems like a Florida man type of gig. So
this was me last week. No,
this ain't Florida man.
Florida man. Okay, comment section. I see Jason already. Jason, Kathleen, they're coming through. They're saying Florida. Hey, everybody, you're somewhere else. Okay, Chris is somewhere else.
I'm going Florida with this one.
Florida, John?
I would have to say Florida because there's some really creepy people in Florida. I mean, what do you...
John is
Why?
distraught.
I used to work with you in that I used to refrain from saying certain things because like you're not going to tell them how they got here. Why did you just say something stupid? I mean,
I would have
man.
done the dumb version, the dumbed down version of it.
On the bright side, John, I can tell you they are not in your backyard because they are in Florida. This man is out of Clearwater, Florida. A 30-year-old man, the whole story is that a 30-year-old man was making inappropriate comments to women trying to provoke their men, and it wasn't getting any response. So he wanted to get a response somehow from somebody. So he climbed onto a busy playground and started telling babies that they come out of women while using vulgar terms. Shout out to that guy. What a cool dude he is. His mugshot is available. You get the free opportunity to go look that up. He has a lot of facial tattoos, and it's quite the sight. So go check that guy out in your free time. But we're down to the final two headlines. I'm going to leave it open to everybody, kind of open discussion here. I'll start off with this one. Oh gosh, why am I sorry? I'm having some
Technical issues, please stand by.
He's opened an alternate universe. Welcome back.
it's the multiverse of madness.
We're off the rails. The Florida man's breaking in. Florida man breaks into stream on Facebook. All right. So yeah, we're down to the final two headlines. We will start with this one. We'll leave it open to the floor. Man steals a BMW after being told that he cannot buy it with food stamps.
That's Florida.
John,
That's Florida.
I'll start with you.
That's Florida.
Yeah, that was full-blooded confidence right there. Joanne?
I'm going to say somewhere else.
Okay, 1-1. Trevor?
I'm like thinking like if this happened in Florida, there's no really taxes on there, and the people down there in Florida are wealthy. So why am I seeing like a poor person trying to buy a BMW with food stamps? I could see that happening in Los Angeles, or to be honest, or New York. Yeah, so I'm gonna go somewhere else.
You're going with somewhere else. 2-1 somewhere else. Chris, you evening it up, or you going 3-1?
I'm going Florida.
All right, even it up. 2-2. Everybody in the comment sections. That man is from Florida. That man is from Stuart, Florida. A 36-year-old man attempted to buy a $60,000 vehicle with an EBT card. When the guy told him to get out, he returned the next day. Not only stole the car, but he stole keys to 60 other vehicles as well.
I'm curious though, if this guy has food stamps, even that, where were the employees? Were they like in the bathroom having massive diarrhea? Like, I don't understand. Like, how many this guy must be like, what is he probably in his like 50s or 60s, something like.
He's a 36-year-old man. He's young and youthful, okay?
But still, like, how do you steal 60 car keys? I could barely get a soda at a freaking where I work without getting or whatever, but 60 something car keys.
Well, he must have done. They could have been overnight. It didn't have to mean the place was open.
It did not specify when he stole it. It did just say he returned the next day. It didn't say day, night, whatever. But yeah, stole a car, keys to 60 other vehicles, and he was found later that day after running out of gas because he, quote, didn't have the money to put gas in the car. Ironic. Final headline. Shout out to that guy. And shout out to everybody who's doing these headlines. You're making our life quite entertaining. Finally, a man flew 1,400 miles in the wrong direction after boarding the wrong plane.
Somewhere else.
2-0. Chris, Trevor, Joanne.
14 hours in the opposite. Was
No,
he the pilot?
1,400 miles.
Was he the pilot?
1,400 miles.
He boarded the wrong plane and flew 1,400 miles in the wrong direction.
How? Did they not check the plane ticket or?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Or did he just run
I'm
on the
more
plane?
curious about the people at like.
Yeah, you're more worried about the plane people, right? Like
Yeah,
people on the plane.
Yeah, because it's like,
And-
bro,
and
was he the only one? Like, bro, I would say, oh, by the way, I'm here to get on this plane. Okay, cool. Then I get a free vacation.
Guys, like this isn't Miami.
Like they were checking plane tape. It's as you board, but like, how did that slip through the cracks?
You know that guy's just sitting there taking tickets. It didn't beep, and he's just like, nah, whatever. It is what it is. Trevor, where are you going on
I'm gonna
that?
go somewhere else on this.
3-0 on somewhere else, Joanne.
I'm gonna trust my buddy Jason out in the audience. I'm gonna say somewhere else.
Everybody is correct. That is somewhere else. That man was from Canada, and he ended up in the Arctic regions when he was trying to go to Canada. Kind of awkward on his part. So, talk to Air Canada. They have some explaining to do. So, hopefully, everybody sounds like Florida. It seemed like it was quite the hit in the comments section.
It was great.
It got some good laughs. It always does. It's always quite the time. But tell you what, that kind of, I guess that can kind of open up any questions anybody has. Make sure to keep them coming in the comments section. Chris, my phone died, and I keep open parallel universes whenever I check comment section. So feel free to bring those questions up as they come in. We'll try to space them out a little bit. But make sure you guys keep coming up with questions in the comment section. Until then, are there any headlines that anybody knows or any stories, just some crazy, wacky stories that you guys remember seeing that you guys want to talk a little bit about while we're on the topic here?
Oh, yes. So I think back at my area, there was a snowstorm that happened and a camel got loose on like one of the highways in Pennsylvania. I think it's called like, yes, a snow, like I think they ended up calling it the news headlines like the snow camel. It was so bizarre. I'm like in Ohio and I see my friends like posting it on like their Snapchats and all that stuff. I'm like saying, what's going on here? And literally, I think there was like I don't even think it was an accident. It was just like a camel just wandering in Pennsylvania near where I used to live, but before I went to college and all that stuff. But like it was there on the highway, and people were just so confused by it. So if you search up like I think snow camel, I think it comes up.
Fair enough. Shout out snow camels. We can find out where Trevor's from. Anybody else know any wacky stories, maybe from their hometown or any other area such as that?
All right, I got one.
Let's hear
it's
it.
Just the headline. It says, meanwhile in Texas, a traveler was caught trying to hide crystal meth inside a breakfast taco.
Best place to hide it, really. I mean, works every time, except for that one time where it didn't. Every other time, I don't remember a time that went wrong. Dude, I tell you what, after spent 12 years of my life in Tampa, Florida, and it's quite the scene out there. You get quite the headlines out there. Let's see. I see a comment section. Everyone's favorite pizza topping from Jason Barber. Joanne, we'll start with you. Favorite pizza. What goes on pizza?
I like sausage on my pizza. That's probably my favorite.
Is that all we're doing on the pizza? What's the go-to?
Or I actually like a white pizza with ricotta cheese, tomato, and sausage. That's my favorite one. I had it last night, actually, so it was good. And I also see Randy and Adam have just both asked what my favorite food is. So I'm going to go to that comment because I think the guys are going to be much more endeared with me when I say, believe it or not, my favorite food is probably chicken wings. I like them.
So how many is good for a game?
Wow. You mean a game of Monopoly or a game of...
Monopoly goes way longer than a football game. Let's just get that out of the way.
I like about 10, and I space them out, 6 to 10.
Fair
They
enough.
gotta be perfect. Sometimes I like garlic parm, but a lot of times I like the spicy ones. So that's my thing.
Trevor, pizza toppings. What goes on a pizza?
You know, I'm going to go, if you're in the mood for something spicy, I'm going to go with buffalo chicken pizza. So it's like you're putting hot wings on pizza. It's a win-win. You can't mess this up on this one.
We're hanging out sometime. That's amazing. Trevor, we'll talk after the show. That's just fantastic. Chris, pizza toppings. What goes on pizza?
I like cheese. I like sausage. I like the 5 meat or whatever kind of meat it was or is. I also like traditional pepperoni. So
a little bit of meat lovers. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All right, John, pizza toppings.
Now that Trevor took mine, I'm gonna have to say bacon.
No, we can just roll with Trevor. I'm rolling with Trevor. I was gonna go buffalo chicken too. That stuff's so good.
If I had to do wings, I like the one where I like to punish myself. So they had the ones at Buffalo Wild Wings, you know, the hottest ones on the menu.
Blazins, yeah.
Yeah. I did the 10 for 20. So I had 20 of them. So, I'm good to go, man. I can handle them. Well, y'all remember the issue with the Xbox 360 back in the day. So those, after that and a beard, hopefully, or not too spicy.
Ah, come on, there's no such thing as too spicy. Come on, we run.
Oh, well, let's do it. Come down, we'll do it. Eat 20 of them.
Dude, I'm in. I did that. Me and my baseball teammates, we did that back whenever we were like 10. We had a competition to see who could eat the most blazing wings. And it was as soon as one person went, you had to go and turn it. Everybody else who was still in the competition had to turn another wing themselves. So it was just basically to see who could go the longest. And it was between me and my buddy Grant, who keeps up with me on my podcast. Grant, if you're watching, shout out Grant. But he ate his sixth one, and I ate my sixth one. And then right after I swallowed it, I burped, and it all came up. And I was just it was not a good day.
That wasn't a burp.
No, it was a burp. It was just all the heat. It was no food came up. Let's get that out of the way. No, we're not talking about vomit on air. Like, we're good. But all the heat started coming, and I'm good. I'm going to tap out on that one. So
it wasn't no hot dog eating contest.
Dude, don't get me on food contests because I've been in quite a few. One even sent me to the hospital, but we'll talk about that another time. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm right with the buffalo chicken pizza kind of guy. I'm that guy. Or if I'm going like Papa John's or something like that, I'll get I'll get Philly cheesesteak pizza, also very delicious. Shout out Randy. Randy's King Hawaiian Pizza down here.
No, that's not food.
Since we're already on the topic of politics, let's get into this heated debate.
No, you get the pineapple pizza, shove it down the toilet, and flush it. That's where it belongs. You putting fruit on your pizza? Oh no, that should be illegal.
Something sweet going on something greasy and bad for you. Like, who does that?
Randy, I have you. I would eat pineapple pizza. We've talked about this many times on the back channel.
There you go.
I got you. Pineapple's good with me.
1 for 2, Chris. Pineapple pizza. What do you?
No.
I'm with Joanne and Randy. I gotta go with them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
It's like, would you put apples on pizza?
We had high hopes.
I don't know. I haven't tried it.
You put pineapple on pizza?
Not
high hopes for you, bro.
Hey, you can still have high hopes for me. Is it my pizza of choice? Absolutely not. If somebody goes, hey, we just have Hawaiian pizza, I'm going home a happy guy.
No, I'd rather go hungry. Nope, I'm sorry. Nope,
that's fine.
Just wait until Adam has to try Twinkies with pizza. That's going to happen. I'm not going to lose fantasy football and eat Twinkies on top of pizza.
That is
won't
criminal.
happen.
That is absolutely criminal. I don't want to ever hear those words come out of your mouth. Good Lord. By the way, speaking of that, have y'all, I know there's like a trend going around. Have you guys seen some of these weird food trends that are going around? I know there's like watermelons and mustard. I've also seen pickles and peanut butter.
Yeah, that's disgusting. What is wrong with people on TikTok? Like, you need
people are just bored.
Dude, if you're bored, go watch cartoons or something. Like, who the fuck? Oh, I'm going to try mustard on freaking watermelon? Oh, my God.
I tell you what, though, I mean, you want mustard and watermelon or you want Tide Pods? I mean, it seems like we can only have one or the other.
But if you think about it, too, that's how a lot of foods are created, just out of creativity, I guess.
Yeah,
I would rather eat that than Tide Pods. I mean, at least one doesn't kill you. We're pretty close to it, I bet.
It's true.
Every food that's come together as like multiple entities had to be separate at a point. You think the guy who like made PB&J was like, kind of shunned upon at first? Some guy was like, yeah, we'll take the peanut butter and we'll put jelly on it. And some guy was like, dude, that's gross.
Let's work on it.
You dare sound like a here trying to compare that this could happen in the future with watermelon and mustard. I mean, I get the peanut butter and the jelly. But mustard is already a disgusting condiment, one of the worst condiments out there. And you put it on fruit. Come on with it.
Hey, I'm just happy to be here. Really,
So Chris, pull up Tim Fielder's comment. That's pretty disgusting.
All right.
Yeah, it says something about a spam egg McMuffin.
He's in Hawaii. My dad eats spam, and I don't understand why. It smells like cat food and piss. I don't understand. I don't understand how you eat that stuff. It's like, what? It looks like overcooked concrete. You put cat food and piss in it. Put it in a can. That's what it smells like.
Just
I don't know
2
how you do
teaspoons
it.
of cat piss. Yep.
He's like, yeah, you just put it on the scale, it'll taste better. I'm like, no, it smells like little canned cat food. That's disgusting.
You know, John, we have a cooking show here on C2C. I'd love to get you on that.
Yes,
John's
it's
gonna
not
try to
Isaiah,
become
though.
Gordon
He burns-
Ramsay.
If we're already working to get Isaiah on there, we should let's do a whole MI6
He
cooking
burnt
show.
water. He
Yeah.
burnt water.
That was Randy. Wasn't that Randy with the burnt water?
That was I don't know about Randy, but I know Isaiah did that. We wouldn't know if he didn't tell us this embarrassing stuff. We wouldn't know, but then he tells us, so we have to share it with y'all.
According to Kathleen, spam is kind of like cat puke. So yeah, not far off. And then Tim says that it's a national treasure in Hawaii, a spam McMuffin. Apparently, John,
I'm not going to Hawaii now. Screw that. I don't want to.
John just took that off the bucket list.
Just think about it. If it already smells like piss in a can, imagine the person's breath when you talk to them. Hi, how's it going? Oh, dude, go brush your teeth. Ooh.
Oh, can I get extra garlic aioli on mine, please?
Or anchovies. Just make it terrible. Just put anchovies if you want it stinky breath.
Anchovies and some garlic on top of it. We gotta sell this smell.
It reminds you of that SpongeBob episode where they drop it in the toilet. Man. Clean it off with a dirty sock. Poor Randy admitting his beta male status, saying that he has burnt water. He has put that out there into the world now.
Well, okay. How does that happen? Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you burn water?
It just becomes gas at a point, doesn't it?
Just burn the pot.
Now, how long are you putting the pot on for? Unless you burn it like 500 degrees for like 2.
Well, he was trying to soften the pineapple to put it on the pizza.
What an animal!
What a legend!
There we go. What a great guy! Just solving the world's problems, but causing them as he goes. He's his own enemy at the same time.
Just like the Avengers.
Nathaniel is all about getting you guys a cooking show as well. Randy says he only burns water because it burns him. Well, there you go. I guess it's more of a karma thing. It's more of a retaliation.
I'm trying to figure out how does the water burn him though.
He takes absurdly hot showers.
Fair enough. All right.
I don't know.
Answers my question. I was overthinking.
I feel like the people in the comment section are a little bit more entertaining than we are. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anybody laugh so much in a 45-minute time period. So shout out to everybody in the comment section. Keep the questions coming. Keep everything coming. You guys are doing great. But the show must go on. Let's step away from food for a little bit. But I mean, we got to keep the mentality high. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's having a good time. So let's just keep it moving. So let's talk about some movies or something, man. When you need a good laugh, when you need a good belly laugh, what is your go-to movie? Trevor, I'll start with you. You got a go-to movie that you just put on just because, like, you need a minute to just laugh at some dumb humor?
I feel like it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I feel like that's a good one that you get some good chuckles here and there. So I would put that on.
All righty. I respect the Hitchhikers. Chris, you got a good belly laugh movie?
I do, and it came out 17 years ago today. Dodgeball.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
That's a good one.
So good.
That one was a good one. I like that one.
So beautiful. Joanne, you're going to be on the movie show. Let's hear it. Let's hear about some comedy movies.
My favorite comedy movie is What About Bob? It cracks me up. I love Bill Murray in that movie, and I like Richard Dreyfuss. It's a good one.
Love Bill Murray. Bill Murray's a great actor. John, comedy movie, good belly laughs.
Y'all are going to expect my answer, or you had. Probably not, but since I watched a lot of cartoons, it'd be the first SpongeBob movie that came out in 2005.
The first SpongeBob movie?
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, to this day, you'll still be like, I need a laugh. Let's do it.
Because, I mean, the Patrick comes in to help celebrate SpongeBob being manager, even though he doesn't get it, and the guy literally has no pants on. And then certain things he do, it's just... this is my...
it's a great movie.
Humor.
TMI, SpongeBob, TMI.
Oh, bro, we've seen worse on social media. I think we're good.
That's true.
Shout out J Mac quoting Dodgeball down there, saying nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Great movie quote. He also said his go-to movie, his go-to laugh is Major League, sports movie with Charlie Sheen and Wesley Snipes. Everybody, that's an amazing movie. That's definitely a good one. I'd have to. I like Dodgeball. That was a great one. But I'm going to go with Benchwarmers. I always used to laugh so hard at Benchwarmers. And I don't know. I mean, it's just such a great combination. David Spade, Rob Schneider, John Heater, and then Nick Swartzen, who's eating sunscreen and peeing into soda bottles and everything. It's just hilarious. That movie's a comedy classic.
Another one that's good is I haven't seen in a long time, but Daddy Daycare.
Oh,
yep.
Good one.
Ooh.
Good movie. Oh man, feels good to hear about those. Nate saying his go-to is Elf. Always a good one. Buddy the Elf. What's your favorite color? I like to think I look a little bit like Will Ferrell. But yeah, man. So what else is going on, man? What else we got going on? I know Trevor was talking about moving into apartments and trying to find something going on. John, while we're waiting for some questions to come in, everybody start flooding us with questions. We got some time here still left on the show. John, what all you got going on? What's some next steps that you got coming up?
Well, I started a sports network having no idea how much work it would be. And so, yeah, it's been pretty difficult, I guess, trying to either get people to get the word out there. But it's been interesting. We'll just have to see where it goes. It's been almost 2 years, so I'm crossing my fingers.
Fair enough. Now, Joanne, I know you are our lone woman here today on the show a little bit. So I got a weird question for you. Have you found yourself trying to face adversity or anything whenever you're trying to get involved in the podcast market or anything such as that? Have you noticed anybody treating you like any weird different types of ways? I mean, I don't know if you face any diversity or discrimination or anything when you're trying to do your podcast.
I haven't gotten any discrimination, but especially since I came to Coast, I have to field a lot of male commentary in my messenger and some really inappropriate stuff. So I don't think you guys have to deal with all that. I got something really outlandish today. I'm not going to repeat it on air, but I've never blocked anybody more than I have in the last couple of weeks. And a lot of times I accept the friend request because I'm on a mission to get as many fans to Coast as I can. I have somebody I want to ensure that I want to beat somebody's record, and so I'm accepting any friend request that comes in, and then I'm hoping that it's above board. But some of them are kind of creepy.
I can't speak to say that I have any females knocking down my direct messages. Can't speak for Randy. I know that guy's just filled with messages on the daily. That guy's always busy responding to other women. But me personally, I'm typically pretty empty.
I didn't want to call Randy out. Most of the messages are from Randy, but I wanted to.
Randy, you got some speaking to do here, buddy.
Randy's public enemy number one.
Oh no!
I thought you said you weren't looking. Like, what is this now?
Oh my God, I'm lightheaded. Oh God, Randy, explanations. Randy, I'll see you in the principal's office. That's crazy. Here he is, C2C rocks. Okay, yeah, you can't butter us up now, pal. You're in it. Yeah, wow, Randy, good one. All right. We're learning it. We're learning Randy's true colors here. It's crazy what you learn about people when they're not here to defend themselves. Chris, I'll talk to you a little bit. Chris, I know you're a guy who you're typically behind the scenes, but I know you got your own stuff going on and everything such as that. What do you think is the hardest part about balancing the two, between going on air and then also being behind the scenes and trying to be like that guy behind everything?
Just kind of figuring out what you need to do as far as shows go, and sometimes you have to juggle two things of running it as well as being on air. So it just takes time to learn. I mean,
now whenever y'all got started, Trevor, I know you started. I know you said that you had started during COVID, and I can agree as well. Whenever I first started getting into podcasting and everything was during the beginning of the pandemic. Whenever you guys, I don't know who started on live cameras or anything, or who just started audio wise. Did anybody have like a weird Joanne, if I'm not mistaken, I think you started just audio wise, didn't you? Before you went to like cameras and everything such as that, with like having your face on camera and everything such as that?
Well, I have taped them, but I haven't transitioned them to YouTube. So, I do have them, but it certainly was rocky. I mean, coming on live was difficult for me. I've never been comfortable public speaking. So really the transition to video. And I remember the first time the guys invited me to movie night, I just told you I'm cold all the time. I was sweating profusely. They said it's going to be, I'm Googling the movies, and then it really turned out to be fine. And it gets easier every time. But yeah, it's pretty nerve-wracking in the beginning.
Tell you what, anybody else? Yeah, Chris, what was your first time like getting on camera and doing everything like that, and just trying to knowing that you're live and going out to everybody and knowing that you could just say random things about Randy and anything could come out at any time?
Yeah, I mean, like Jonah said, it was kind of different. It was a different feeling knowing that you're on there live to everybody. It wasn't like pre-recorded, and you can kind of take it back if it didn't sound right, or redo it if it didn't take. But yeah, it was different. I started out audio only, and then a few months later, I I went to video. So during the pandemic, so.
MI6 guys, Trevor, John, where did you guys start out? Did you guys start out on camera and then switch over to start off on audio and then switch to on camera? What's been like going live and everything like? What's that experience been like for you guys whenever you first started out compared to where you guys are at now?
Before we found StreamYard, we were on Zoom and trying to get that, and that was a pain. But I was able before, like at the time, like I was also running my Student Orgs podcast. So that was more audio. So it was like I got a little dabble in both. And doing the one with like just audio is like like Chris said, you can edit it, cut things down, remove the likes and ums. But when you're on like StreamYard going live, you can add all these wacky bloops and sound effects and be like Bill Nye for an entire hour if you wanted to. So that's why I kind of like the stream, and having people interact with you as you're doing the show makes it 10 times easier if you don't have like a full blown out script. You can just literally go off of the comment section and literally you have an episode right then and there. So that's what it ended up becoming. And that really, got us really on our feet and the ground running at MI6, I would say.
John, anything to add to that by any chance?
Well, mine's story is a little bit different than most people. Of course, I started out just on Anchor like about 2 years ago. I deleted all the episodes and I would pay people not to listen to them. They were so terrible. They were so garbage. And the biggest pieces of baby diarrhea you could ever listen to was that. And then transitioning from that to recording in a hot car right before COVID started. It was terrible. If you looked at like hundreds of episodes, it was terrible, man, because the AC was on full blast. You could barely hear because it was hot as heck outside. Like I said, my pale complexion doesn't really help, and not having the equipment. So I actually found a notebook the other day from like 2 years ago when I wrote that, okay, here's what I need for a list. I need this and all these different things that you kind of see right here. 2 years later, boom, it's there. But it's different than others because I can tell you, once you've recorded in a hot blazing car for 3 to 4 plus months at a time, you can kind of appreciate like things like this. That's where it's like my story is probably a little bit different than anybody else.
Now, what had you recording in your car?
I didn't have anywhere else to record. My mom works at home, and so the problem is if I recorded here, her talking about confidential client information, like when they buy houses or whatever, would be in the background, and I don't want to get her in trouble. So it's like I didn't have a choice, and so you do that for months at a time. And basically, I would have 10 to 12 pieces of paper and a Scotch tape. So I would have to put pieces of paper here with tape there. You can look down. That's why I had that photo of the camera, is that because they had to put the pieces of tape with the paper in a certain position so that when you're recording, the papers don't fall down right in front of you, and then it does. So I put the papers out of camera so that I can look at them, but you can't, like you see people on TV, so you can't tell if I'm looking at it. But the papers fall down in the middle of the show, you're screwed because it's live. So I had to record the YouTube version, the podcast version, the Facebook version, the Instagram. Dude, that took a lot of work. So just kind of having StreamYard's been great. It makes it so easy to kind of put in those videos and put those different types of things and to actually meet people has been pretty cool.
Fair enough. Hey, shout out Donna Cross. That's really weird for me saying that first and last. That's my mother. So that made me uncomfortable. But she's down there in the comment section. She had mentioned, has anybody gone to a story or anything that has terrified them? I know that I work in news and everything such as that. And I know that typically I know a lot of us do podcasting. I know Joanne's got quite the hell of a job. Joanne, has there been anything in which that you've had to respond to or anything such as that's kind of terrifying on the daily basis?
Nothing I can speak to publicly. So
fair enough. She'd have to kill you if she told you. But other than that, like kind of morbid or something like that, I know on my end. So for those of you who don't actually know me personally, I do work in Mississippi for a local news station as well, separate to my sports broadcasting and everything such as that. We had a deathly plane crash at like midnight the other day, earlier in the month, and that was terrifying, just because of the unease and everything such as that. And that's some stuff you don't really hear about and everything like that in everyday news. That's so rare. Stuff like that just doesn't just happen, let alone in your own backyard or not too far from it. So, Mom, yeah, that's mine. That was definitely terrifying for me. Something that I'm not used to. Only been in the business for about 3 months, and then you have to go report to a plane crash. Kind of terrifying, especially when you're out there for hours. You don't know what's going on. Everything's just kind of, it's just kind of hurry up and wait. Really, whenever you're sitting there. Coast to Coast Entertainment, I'm assuming is Ace. He said, I was never given topics my first time out and had to moderate without knowing any topics. Sounds like me on another network. Won't talk about it. And hello, Queen Joanne and her royal court, according to Brandon Herrera. Shout out. Queen Joanne. I would like to be a court jester if at all possible.
I want to be knighted so I could become a sir.
I'll call you sir. That's fine. I'll just call you sir, and we'll skip the whole knighting process. Unless we can do it on air. I mean, we've got a little bit of time left. We can make something happen. But anybody else that's still watching, by the way, I've noticed so far watching it that we've had a pretty consistent level of viewers almost the entire show. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's come on and joined us on Roundtable and just been a part of everything, leaving your comments in there, participating in the games. And of course, thank you to the 4 people around me for coming on and being a part of it. Randy said he also wants to be a jester for Queen Joanne as well. Randy, we've already heard about the weird messages. Tim said you're trending on C2C right now, so that's uncomfortable. If you want to talk about it, I don't know if we have an HR department, but we should get one. It sounds like.
Well, Randy's very good for my ego. He knows he's my favorite, so I'm gonna shout him out. He's my favorite guy.
Everybody needs.
He could be tied with Chris. Chris is up there in the rankings too. Chris is one of my other guys. I like all the guys. I'll throw that out there publicly. I like every guy that I've met in this network. You're all a ton of fun. Trevor, John, it's great to meet you. I love it. It's been a great experience for me. So thanks, guys. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time.
There you go, Randy. There's still a chance. If you're watching at home, there's a chance.
Hey, there's a reason to put a smile on your face on your little staycation there, buddy. But yeah, tell you what, we'll sit here and we'll wait for any questions to come in. But while we have some time or anything, we'll go around and we'll do like a little quick final 60 seconds from everybody. If we get some questions afterwards, we'll run through them. And then I guess we can call it a roundtable, folks. So, Chris, you got a final 60 seconds, man. You got a minute. Let's closing thoughts or anything you want to say.
All right. Thank you guys for watching today's roundtable. Glad for the interaction. Glad it's been a fun show and keep watching, keep sharing the content. And we're going to bring out more shows every day. So.
There you go. You were not wrong there. Continuing on the C2C side, Joanne, final 60 seconds. You got anything to say?
So I'm gonna add to what Chris said and talk a little bit about the shows I have coming up. We're gonna have a great health and beauty show with Brooklyn Bradley LaFleur is going to co-host. We're going to have a fitness show with Amber Riley. I may have a diversity program. We're also going to have Rocco and Margie, two football handicappers I'm bringing in. So I think that's going to be fun. I want to thank you, Will, for moderating. I appreciate it. I can't remember that other guy who used to do it. What was his name? So I think it started with an A.
Fred.
Yeah. We can.
It was like Fred with an A. Yeah, I don't know.
And John and Trevor, it was great. It's been a great night. I do want to say this. We're breaking barriers here at Coast to Coast. Ladies, I need to get 1,200 views tomorrow to break the Coast to Coast record. So I'm going to put a shout out to all my ladies night on movie night. And we're going to hopefully we're going to break that glass barrier and bring that record down tomorrow night. Sorry, Randy. I know you're my guy, but I'm breaking it if I can. So tune in tomorrow night too.
Support women podcasters and be there for movie night tomorrow night on the Coast to Coast Network. Going over to John. John, let's hear it, man. You got a 60-second recap.
Of course, I see the title. That's the name of the network. It's a lot of work. I think y'all don't really understand. I guess I say that sounds weird, but a lot of work goes into that. So we just had an interview today with Mike Yam that works with the NFL Network. He does Sirius XM radio. So then we have another big guest coming on in August. I won't say her name, but I think Trevor knows the person I'm talking about, that we had to reschedule for August. So a lot of guests coming up. It's going to be good, and we'll just see where it goes.
Trevor, final thoughts.
It's been a fantastic program. I love the roundtable. It's nice, relaxed, no script. You just fly with flying colors and really get through it. But sadly, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be taking a week off. I'll be going on vacation. I'll be joining Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We go into the Super Bowl Part 2. Let's go.
Hey, whenever you win the Super Bowl, you got to go to Disney World. At least that's what they tell you on the commercials. We did get one question in here while we were wrapping up. Tim Fielder, Sarge, my man Sarge, wants to know the best blooper, I'm assuming while recording during an episode, the best bloopers that have happened to you. I'll start with the MI6 guys. Trevor, John, can you guys recount a really just a big bluster or anything? It looks like Trevor's got something right there for you. He's geared up.
So when I was giving a take and Callan passed it off to me, I think I was talking about Giannis. Isaiah literally says live on air, "Can I get a pina colada?" He literally ordered pina colada during a live stream, and I just could not hold myself together.
He did.
Just out of nowhere.
Out of left field. You just hear, "Hey, can I get a pina colada?" I'm just dying laugh. The camera was zoomed in on me. It was just awful.
Can I get a pina colada? All right. Fair enough. Joanne, can you think of any good blunders or busters that have happened during your shows?
I can't think of any big ones. Tonight I had the blunder when I called it Saturday night as opposed to Friday night. It's tough to have a blunder when it's recorded because you can edit. So, on the live shows, it's been so far so good. It hasn't been too bad. People have taken it easy on me, so I haven't had anything monumental.
Your best blooper was calling out Randy. That was me. Chris, we'll go to you. Do you remember any funny blunders or anything that's happened on your shows?
I can't think of anything right now. No.
I remember. Great story. I remember the first ever podcast I was ever recording, and you can go back and listen to it. It's still up on our YouTube today. GMs for Hire on YouTube. You can go check us out. GMS, the number 4 Hire on YouTube. And it's the first ever episode we did. It was a 2020 NFL draft recap. I'll never forget. I was recording in my apartment bedroom, and my girlfriend at the time that was there tripped over something and just ate it in the back of my camera. And you don't see her fall, but you hear a good thud, and you see my mattress kind of fly up because she had fallen on my bed, and all of a sudden I'm giving a report on how the Ravens had an amazing draft, and my mattress is like flying behind me. And that lets you know the humble beginning of where you start off. I mean, luckily, as you can tell behind me, mattresses, we do the best we can here. And so you live and you learn from your mistakes. That's for sure. Let's see. Randy saying he is the blooper himself. you should dress up as the Atlanta Braves mascot, Blooper. That'd be quite the.
Is he the Isaiah of this network? Who's the Isaiah of this network, though? Will.
Ooh, who is the Isaiah of the network? Who just says the most random things and just doesn't know when to stop talking? Who? Find out next roundtable on the Coast to Coast Network. That's about as good of a segue as I can give right there.
Well done. Well, should we shout out our new show that's up and coming with the debate show that we've been talking about on the back channel with the host?
You know about it more than I do, apparently, because I don't know what you're talking about. So that's fun stuff. That's
So,
awkward.
Chris, you want to talk about it? The Dragon Viper debate show. We have a new host, Randy. He's gonna give it a shot. I think that's the one I'm looking forward to most. Randy proposed a debate show. He's the creative genius behind it, and he's also going to be the moderator and the host. So we have big things coming up from our guy Randy.
Yeah, I think we've been talking about it. Still kind of in the works, but.
In the works, but if we put it out there in the air, we're manifesting it. We're putting it into his head. So.
That's right.
If you can promise me a show where Randy is going to be hosting every single time, I will promise I am there. And I think all the other women who follow C2C can say the same thing. And for that, we'll leave on a good note and we'll wrap it up there. So again, everybody, thank you all for joining us tonight on this episode of Roundtable. Do want to thank you all for being interactive and having a great time down in the comments section. Make sure you check out Trevor and John over on the MI6 network, as well as God is Greater Than Money Sports Network for John as well. And then make sure you check out these two beautiful people to not that side, to this side on the C2C network. You're already here, so make sure you keep an eye out for them. Come help Joanne break the view record tomorrow on movie night. Definitely need to come do that. And then make sure you check me out here, as well as GMs for Hire on YouTube and any other platforms. If you're in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, catch me on the local news. What are the odd chances that you're there? You're probably not. But anyways, for everybody involved, for C2C, for MI6, and everybody that was here tonight, we want to say thank you. And y'all, take it easy.